What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex, and you're watching The Road to Beast Wars. This is just a web series. We're talking about the productions of Transformers Rise of the Beast. This is episode number 25. And before I begin this episode, I just want to tell you that it does contain spoilers because obviously I'm sure a lot of you have seen some behind the scenes videos posted on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, all over social media about things that happen on set and things that will most likely, 99% will appear in the movie, and you kind of know what kind of actions are going to take place and how the sequence is going to play out. So for those who didn't see it, probably want to start avoiding some of those videos, and you definitely want to avoid this video. But I've already seen it, so I'm going to talk about it. At the end of the day, the movie is still the movie, and the behind the scenes makes up just a small chunk of what we're going to end up seeing in the movie. So anyways, let's just talk about it. But I just want to address something from a previous episode, from the last episode, episode number 24. I want to acknowledge my mistake, and that was when I saw the side of the van, the Volkswagen Combi, and it had a foreign language there. I said it was Peruvian, okay? That is a mistake. In Peru, the language is Spanish, and I'm very embarrassed by it. But thank you for everybody that commented. Obviously, I was uninformed about it, and I just want to acknowledge my mistake. And so the language of Peru is Spanish. So we've gotten that out of the way. Let's move on, and let's talk about where is Bumblebee? Where's Bumblebee in all this? We saw the convoy of the vehicles, whether they be Terracons and Autobots, parading themselves through the streets of Cusco, Peru. I'm not sure what area that is in the city, but it feels like, I guess it's kind of like a downtown area. There is a city square there where they were filming. So Bumblebee wasn't a part of that, and some people were obviously concerned and saying, where is Bumblebee? And I even saw some comments that, this is kind of dumb, but why would anyone say that, oh, there's a rumor going around that Bumblebee died? Who started that rumor? Was it a comment on YouTube? Because that's not a rumor. That's just somebody's guess. That's not how a rumor starts. There is no rumor that Bumblebee dies, okay? That's not a rumor. Nobody actually started this rumor, okay? That's just somebody's guess, and somebody just decided to talk about it again in another comment, okay? No, Bumblebee is not dead, okay? That would, you know what? Bumblebee dying would be the biggest mistake of Paramount and Hasbro and the whole Transformers production and Stephen Cable Jr. Why would you even allow that? You know how many kids love Bumblebee? Killing Bumblebee off would be the biggest mistake and would make this one of the most hated Transformers films by the younger demographic. No, Bumblebee is not going to die. He's not dead. There is obviously a very good explanation as to why he's not present with the rest of the convoy. Let's also keep in mind that Bumblebee is an off-road vehicle. What is off-road? What are off-road vehicles used for? Off-roading, okay? Not really city driving, okay? That's not to say that he's not allowed to go in the city, but okay, I'm just going to go ahead and say that I think Stephen Cable Jr. has a better understanding of story than Michael Bay, okay? And and there, I said it. And I feel that he got this transformation or this makeover for a reason, needing to drive through the mountains. And who is he going to take to the mountains? The humans, okay? So remember that scene or that shot in Machu Picchu, which was filmed over a couple of weeks ago, where you have Anthony Ramos and Dominic Fishback as the only ones there in Machu Picchu. You didn't see any of the Autobot vehicles, or maybe they're standing around in robot mode. But the point is that the humans were there. You see Anthony Ramos wearing a thing that looks like Q made, for Sam Witwicky in Dark of the Moon. Anyways, he was wearing something like that. Nobody knows what it's for. But then you also see that blue blue screen dude there. Okay, I think that's near the end of the movie, and I think that the way that Bumblebee I mean, the way that they got to that area was Bumblebee, okay, with his off-road mode, okay. So there's a thing about these Transformers movies, except for the movie Bumblebee, where Bumblebee kind of goes off and does his own thing with the humans. That's kind of like a tradition with the Transformers films, and I think that that tradition continues to go on. Optimus is leading the Autobots. He's the leader of the Autobots, and Bumblebee still, to this date, he still has the strongest connections with the humans, okay? That's a tradition passed on from G1, okay? And if Stephen Kipple Jr. is going to be having any sort of connection with G1, he should at least, take story cues from G1. So that's what he's doing, and that's why I say that. That's why I say that. Just because Bumblebee isn't in part of the convoy doesn't mean that he's dead. I'm positive maybe all his scenes were done filming, but they still need the other guys. They still need the other Autobots, all the other vehicles, because apparently a big part of the action takes place in Cusco, Peru, and it involves a lot of the vehicles rolling out in high speeds. It's going to be a high speed chase, okay? And another thing that I want to talk about is that it's October 18th now. We're nearing the end of production, and this movie has a $200 million budget, okay? For them to go past their projected and proposed shooting schedule, that's going to cost a lot more money. They're already at $200. Paramount and Hasbro, they're not, and whoever the investors are not going to give them any more money, okay? That is it, okay? So they're at the tail end of the filming. I don't think there's much more filming to be done beyond what they're doing right now. But I don't think filming is going to go on till November. Okay, so we're near the end of that. Let's talk about the. So there was a chase involving Jazz and Optimus, and Jazz was trying to do a drift as he was turning the corner, and then he crashed. I'm sure everybody has seen the video. Obviously, this is the reason why you need stunt cars. Now, why Jazz? Out of all the vehicles out there, why Jazz has 4 stunt vehicles, or has 4 multiples himself? And the exact reason is because for reasons like this, he is involved in the most amount of high-speed chases. After all, him and Nightbird are the only sports cars, but I have a feeling that Nightbird is going to have more appearance as a robot mode than than being used as a vehicle, and that's because if they're going to connect G1 to this film, then Nightbird is more of a ninja. You know what I'm saying? She's agile. I think that her highlights will be shown as more of a ninja robot as opposed to a vehicle. All right, she's got a cool vehicle mode, but the highlight of her as a character is more her agile robot movements and abilities. Okay, so that's that. But Jazz is going to be involved in the most amount of high-speed chases. He's obviously involved in the Scourge Optimus chase as well as a police chase in New York. Okay, so that's pretty exciting. Now, this is of course the major spoiler. Everybody has seen this. Optimus versus Scourge. Obviously, we know that Scourge is the leader of the Terracons. Optimus is the leader of the Autobots. They're going to fight. We already know this. This is a given. But how is this going to play out? Well, based on this behind-the-scenes video we've seen on social media, Optimus Prime T-bones Terracon leader Scourge through a wall. Scourge flips. Guess what happens next? Guess what happens next? It's very, very obvious, okay? They're going to transform and they're going to fight, okay, in robot mode. They've done enough chasing around and that's what's going to happen. So that's a major, major spoiler of how this is going to play out. But you know what? A lot of people might be thinking, that's not a major spoiler. That's obviously going to happen. Well, the difference between this film and the way it's going to play out compared to other films is that there's going to be a city chase. There's going to be a city chase, something we've never really seen before it leads into a one-on-one battle, or a one-on-one robot fight. That's how it's going to play out differently. And of course, we have to take into consideration of the fact that there have been 5 films with Optimus, well, 6 films with Optimus Prime that he is in, then they have to find a way to make this fight and this sequence different from all the other ones, especially since they have a different director than Michael Bay. So this is definitely going to play out differently. Now, what I'm really excited about, okay, obviously everybody's excited about the final battle. Yes, I'm excited about the final battle. That's the thing that it leads up to. That's all the story and character development eventually leads up to the grand finale, okay? Now, I think that this final battle is going to be something special, okay? You look back at the previous Transformers films, okay, and the Michael Bay directed Transformers films. What is one thing that is that is the same in every film, except for Transformers Age of Extinction, but he had a replacement for the U.S. military? That's the U.S. military. The U.S. military has been there for number 1, number 2. Okay, Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen, Dark of the Moon, and Transformers Last Night. Not so much in Transformers Age of Extinction, but he replaced them with the what do you call those drones? You know, the drones, the KSI drones. Okay. So that's where all the gunfire and explosions came from. Okay, now you look at Transformers first film and how it was filmed. Okay, the Transformers Final Battle, how it was filmed. It was actually filmed in a studio lot, so that was all contained. We didn't really get to see many of behind the scenes stuff. And the second one, it was all Egypt. Okay, it was all Egypt. Tons of explosion going off. Don't really see much of the Autobots or Decepticons there. They were all CG, but tons and tons and tons of U.S. military. Okay. Now you look at the third one. Explosions going off everywhere. Downtown Chicago is left in ruins. You see the heads of the characters on poles, so that you know which robots are going to be there. Tons of gunfire and wingsuits and parachute jumpers and soldiers running around. A lot of gunfire. So that's how Transformers: Dark of the Moon played out. Age of Extinction, we got Hong Kong battle. You got things blowing up everywhere. A lot of gunfire, and then that's all very, very exciting. Okay, but you don't really see much of the robot. I mean the Autobots rolling out in their vehicles. See a bunch of KSI supercars rolling out, but in the end of the day, when you're watching Age of Extinction, they didn't really do very much. Finally, we get to Transformers Last Night. I can't really comment on that. My least favorite film. And then they fought on Cybertron, so it's a completely CGI sequence. So we don't really know how that would have looked in the behind the scenes, because we weren't able to witness it. Now you go to fast forward to 2021, Cusco, Peru. Right now, what is the difference? Okay, how is this final battle scene different? Especially now that we're seeing the behind the scenes footage. There is not a single military personnel out there. Not a single military personnel out there at all. I did see some police, but they were there for crowd control as the Autobots were parading themselves around the city and being there for photo ops and selfies. Okay, but I did not see any military personnel. I especially did not see any American military. There is no sign of KSI drones. There is no sign of a human faction that is there to take down Autobots and Decepticons or Cybertronians. Excuse me. This is straight up Autobots versus Terracons. And not only that, this isn't just a battle with explosions, because I haven't really seen any real explosions. I haven't even seen a single explosion yet. Okay? I have seen Autobots rolling out in vehicles. And that's what makes this sequence so much more exciting, because there is no outside involvement, and this is not just robots fighting robots. Because as much as robots fighting robots is exciting, keep in mind, these are Transformers. They have to have alt modes, okay? They have alt modes, and they gotta use their alt modes, and they're gonna use their alt modes as well as using the robot modes, okay? Whereas on the other hand, you look at all the final battles, you look at Age of Extinction, you look at Dark of the Moon, it's just robot mode, robot mode, robot mode. It's just robot fighting, okay? We don't get to see a whole lot of transformations. We don't get to see a whole lot of alt modes, and making use of those alt modes it looks like we're getting a lot of that here, and Stephen Caple Jr. truly understanding Transformers and the idea of robots in disguise. Okay, that's why I'm so excited about this sequence, and you should be too, especially if you're a Transformers fan. If you're a Michael Bay fan, you're definitely gonna enjoy more of the, like, his style of action more, where it's just robots and explosions and military gunfire going off everywhere, and it's, you know, it's completely incohesive. But like in this one, I'm just going to throw this out there, and I think that this is going to be something special. I couldn't comment on Bumblebee because during the behind the scenes, because I couldn't see much of it, right? And the action sequence were very, very contained, and what I was treated to in the cinemas was that it was something very, very special, and I loved every minute of it, and I thought it was something, I thought it was the best one. Right? Now this one, on the other hand, it looks like they're taking what they had in Bumblebee and bringing it to the next level with making this a full-on Transformers film as opposed to a character-focused like Bumblebee film. Okay, and you know, of course, we're not going to forget about Michael Bay. We're going to have him, you know, he's obviously a producer. He will have a little bit of creative input. And Stephen Caple Jr. will take some influences from that because he did set the bar and set the standard for what a Transformers film should be like. So, you know, he's creating his own version of that. But at the end of the day, this is his very own vision coming from a director who is actually a fan of Beast Wars, okay? So, I mean, and he's a fan of Transformers in general, okay? Maybe not as much as Travis Knight as he was to G1, but at least he's still a Transformers fan nonetheless, and he knows his stuff, okay? So that's why I'm really excited about that. I'm very excited to see what Stephen Caple Jr. is going to bring to the table. And man, oh man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited about Cusco Peru. And, you know, it's great that they're having the final battle take place in Cusco Peru in a more, you know, not a major city. If you have a major city like Chicago or Los Angeles or a major city like Hong Kong, there's gonna be like military involvement, okay? I'm so glad that we're not going to see any of that. They're taking it to a little bit more contained into a smaller city, and it's going to be great. I'm so excited, okay? Anyways, thank you so much to everybody. Every single one of you guys know who you are, who have been sending me videos. My inbox was flooded with the same videos again and again and again, and I really appreciate that. You know, it just shows you that everybody wants to share with me what they saw, and you guys are awesome. So thank you so much for that. Anyways, my name is Alex Hughes. Stay tuned for the next update. I'm not even sure what I'm going to talk about next, but we will have something to talk about as this production wraps up very, very soon. Okay, my name is Alex Hughes. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.